rating has sunk to 48% and is still going down. There is even a shortage of Obama fans writing letters to news outlets. They've had to recycle, reuse and recycle, as a dozen papers nationwide have had to rely on one lone fan, each Ellie Light from that city every time. It's weird. An Obama supporter who almost has identical letters, and they have mysteriously appeared in places like the Philadelphia Daily News, San Francisco Examiner, Washington Times, papers in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Bangor, Maine, Ohio, Virginia. The letters even appeared overseas in Thailand's Bangkok Post. When Ellie Light is your remaining supporter, a typical politician might triangulate and start moving towards the center, you know, like Bill Clinton did in 1994. But you see, once again, what you learned on this program is proving itself to be accurate. We are dealing with not typical politicians. We are dealing with radicals, progressive radicals, who want to fundamentally change our country. Plouffe said they have to have the guts to govern. Well, if these guys, Andy Stern, who's this one? Oh, Ron Brown, I love him. Anita Dunn. You know, if they didn't love Mao or didn't think power comes from the barrel of a gun or agree with using persuasion of power, I wouldn't have a problem with the rhetoric. Typical politicians like Nancy Pelosi were ready to raise the white flag on health care. And she said,
in its present form, without any change, I don't think it's possible to pass the Senate bill in the House. I don't see the votes for it at this time.
And now Obama has called in the campaign troops. The battle lines are being drawn. They are going to fight like hell. That's why I told you last week, these are the times that will try men's souls. We have to wait and see on Wednesday at the State of the Union which Obama is going to show up, the politician or the radical progressive. A fight for the soul of the Democratic Party. It ain't your grandpa's Democratic Party anymore. I'll explain next. Well, the Democrats are ready to come out fighting, and really fighting with each other. I mean, this is what Barack Obama wants you to believe, that they are going to fight the Republicans, but they're not. Your grandfather's Democratic Party is really the target here. Democrats, I've been waiting for you to wake up, and I hope you do soon. My grandfather and my grandparents, they were all Democrats. The traditional Democratic Party is the one going up now against the radical fringe left. Right now, Democrats are hurting, and they're looking ahead to November elections to define themselves. Are they going to be the Democratic Party that we all grew up with as kids, or are they going to be these radical revolutionaries from the 60s? Which way are they going to go? I've been telling you there's a difference between Democrat and progressives for a while now, but nobody on the left wants to listen. But here it is. Please listen. There are blue dog Democrats. And there are also Democrats that aren't quite blue dogs, but they're not socialist Marxist radicals. They're more like your grandfather's Democrat. Most Democrats, I believe, still love America. They love the founders, they love the Constitution, and they believe in this country. But then there's another group, and they have infiltrated not just the Democratic Party, but also the Republican Party. And they're in the Congressional Progressive Caucus. This is a group in Congress who believes that the government can solve any and all problems, and they must. To really understand this group, let me put it this way. Everyone pretty much thinks that government causes most problems. I don't know anybody who says, oh, the government, they always get it right. I wish they could come and help me in my house. The progressives believe that they, the government, are the only ones that can solve problems, and that the problem really, when you boil it down, is all the stupid people. Got it? There are the proud Democratic progressive, and then the Democrats. Make no mistake, there are also progressive Republicans. Teddy Roosevelt was a huge progressive. We'll get into this later this week. McCain is a huge progressive and a huge fan of Teddy Roosevelt. That was my first key, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, now I understand John McCain. Teddy Roosevelt's the guy who said, walk softly and carry a big stick. Well, the progressives have done that for a very long time. Never been a better example. Walk softly, don't let anybody know where you are, but carry a big stick. Well, now that's kind of changed in the Democratic Party. They're not walking softly anymore. They're shouting from the rooftops. They're ripping it open. I'm a progressive. And they're jamming their agenda down people's throats, mainly those in the Democratic Party. The big stick is the one being wielded now against California Congressman Lynn Woolsey. We got this from an insider. Wait until you hear this story. The co-chair of the Congressional Progressive Caucus is who she is. She's supporting a Blue Dog Democrat, Jane Harman, and according to a liberal blog, Woolsey attended a fundraiser for Harman. Just a side note, we called to confirm that Woolsey went to this event. They didn't return our phone calls. Anyway, progressives very upset with this. Before the event, the Progressive Caucus of California, the California Progressive Democratic Party, sent a letter to Woolsey, which read, in part, Dear Congresswoman Woolsey, we, the officers of the Progressive Caucus of California Democratic Party, are your constituents, both in your district and throughout the rest of California. We're your friends, your ardent supporters. Through your long and distinguished career, and consider ourselves your progressive colleagues in the California Democratic Party. Listen to this. We have worked for the same agenda inside the Democratic Party. Got it? How many times have I said they're like a virus feeding on the host of the Republic, and in this case, the Democratic Party. We have worked together inside the Democratic Party as you pushed for in Congress. We turned out and worked on the ground to defeat your primary opponent several years ago, motivated by a deep admiration for the leadership you have shown on many issues dear to progressives, and we've been reliable campaign contributors along the way. We write to express strong disappointment in your decision to support re-election campaign of Jane Harman, an undistinguished, scandal-ridden conservative, a Democrat, over Marcy Winograd, a true long-standing progressive. We understand that Harman has recently moved slightly to the left in an attempt to keep her seat. After the election, however, we expect her to revert to her blue dog ways and oppose much of your and our legislative agenda. Interesting choice of words. Working inside the Democratic Party. The progressives are parasites inside the Democrat. They are feasting on the Democratic Party. They are also feasting on inside of the Republican Party. The California progressives weren't the only ones upset. John Amato of Crooks and Liars wrote on Huffington Post, quote, for Woolsey to be holding fundraising events for a known blue dog should be firing offense for the CPC. Progressive Democrats of America joined in. They started an online petition asking her to withdraw from the event. Woolsey said no. I don't know how this story ends, quite frankly. It's California. It's all going to end in a mudslide right into the bottom of the ocean eventually anyway. But let me tell you something. The last time the progressives were in this position and they started gobbling power and they exposed themselves, people caught on and hated them. And they had to disappear for years and years, decades. They had to go underground, hiding, masquerading as liberals. We cannot let them disappear like Obama allowed Van Jones to disappear in the middle of the night, because Van Jones, I got news for you, gang, is still in the system. We should either embrace the progressive philosophy and fundamentally transform this country, or discredit it so progressivism cannot slither away into the shadows anymore and resurface later. A while back I said two can play at this game, and it's bipartisan bickering, and I almost went down that road. And I had an epiphany before I went on vacation. It was right around Thanksgiving. Two can't play this game. We must restore honor. Can I show you a logo here? This is the logo of Restoring Honor, August 28th, 2010. I'm going to be on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and we are going to talk about honor, our founders, Washington, Lincoln, and who we really are. There's not going to be one word of politics in it. I invite you to be there, to restore honor to this country, because that will solve all of it. Find out more details at glennbeck.com. Do it now. This morning I got to the office and they told me that there's a new poll out that shows that Oprah Winfrey is America's favorite TV personality in all genres and all categories, and I'm number 2. And they say it's the largest jump from nowhere onto this poll since they've been taking this poll. I'm truly honored that you watch this show every night. Thank you for putting up with me, and thank you for watching every night. It is an honor to serve you. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow from New York. Good night, America.